In Euler's method, recap. Given a differential equation and an initial condition, we're going to estimate the output of the y function with a given increment. So, I recommend that you always start with what was given and have a column for your x values and your y values when x is 1, y is negative 3. Then, with your x values, increment them by 1/3 each time. So from 1 to 1 1/3 to 1 2/3 to 1 3/3. Then, to find these y values, and thereby answering what's the estimate of y when x is 2, to find these successive y values right down to the one we're looking for, we use the formula that the next y value is equal to the previous y value plus that increment value times the derivative at the previous point. So to get this y value, we need the derivative at the point 1, negative 3. So let's make a column for derivatives. So the derivative when x is 1 and y is negative 3 is 2 times 1 minus negative 3. Just plug them in to the diffie cube. And that's equal to 5. Alright, so now we can come and use this formula, the Euler's method formula, and say our next y value is equal to the previous y value plus our x increment times the slope at this previous point. So we have the previous y value plus our increment times the slope at that previous point. Negative 3 plus 5/3. The estimate for the y value at this x value is negative 4/3. What about the estimate for the y value at this x value? It's the previous y value plus the x increment times the slope at that previous point, 1 1/3, negative 4/3. So what's the slope at that point? The slope at this point is 2 times the x value minus the y value. That's given. So we'll put the x value and y value in. Well, that's equal to exactly 4. So we have our new y value at that step, which is 0. So for our final increment, let's find a new y value, and then we'll know our estimate of the y value when x is 2. So that's going to be the previous y value using the Euler formula. The previous y value was 0 plus the increment times the slope. So we need the slope at this previous point when x is 1 2/3. So 2 times the x value minus the y value, just like the formula says. And that gives us 10/3 or 3 1/3. So our answer is that y of 2 is approximately 3 1/3. 10/3. Alright, I hope that makes Euler's method really clear. It's not so bad.